Hello again, Sagittarius. Dadhichi here from astrology.com.au. If you're new, thank you for joining us. I hope I can give you some insights this month. Take a look at your horoscope. It's May 2019 and we see the majority of planets, what we call under the Earth. So there's a lot of stuff brewing in your subconscious, emotional nature this month, with the exception of Mars here in the partnership area and the North Node or karmic point here in the area of shared resources. So I'm wondering whether there's some tension brewing here in your relationships as shown by the combative Mars. Friendly planet for you, but nevertheless still combative, and here in direct opposition to the planet which is ruling your sun sign, Jupiter. Notice also Jupiter is retrograde. If we move this around, it'll be interesting to see the new moon here in the sixth house on the 5th. So this is really an important transit. I've skipped a couple of the earlier ones here. We see that Mercury and Venus are in your 5th house of love, Mars in your 7th house of relationships. But this new moon indicating a breakthrough, possibly in your way of serving others, your way of working, your day-to-day routine. I'm wondering whether that's causing some problem for you. If you don't have an adequate routine, a way of managing your time and resources, pardon me, that can actually erode the time, the quality time that you have with your most meaningful others in life. So I think this is very telling. You notice also that you've got this very abrupt and surprising Uranus in this same area, and that can shake your schedule up, put you in a position where you're not clear on what's happening. So it could be that all of this stuff is connected to yourself, but spilling over into your relationships. So it's important, especially when the moon moves into this sector here, after this new moon, you see here, when it makes contact with Mars, to work through some of these issues. Less is more right now. The Mars and Jupiter opposition is indicative of overconfidence, resting on your laurels. It can give a little ego spurt. So you've got to be careful to humble yourself. And as I say, the true nature of understanding is in the word itself. If you break that word down into two words, understanding is simply standing under or humbling yourself. To stand under someone or something is to humble yourself and to be receptive. And that is really, my friends, the true meaning of understanding, which is greatly needed during these transits. Again, here in the 8th house, that has to do with intimacy. And when the moon makes contact with the node, especially in these rather difficult aspects, you see squares, oppositions. There's a lot of tension, a lot of worry, a lot of concern here. And maybe because all of these planets are under the Earth, and this is also a secret, hidden part of your horoscope, that you're unable or maybe fearful of talking about what's on your mind. You've got to break out of that. That's not at all in your nature. Your planet Jupiter, your star sign of Sagittarius, is built on the signature of honesty and forthrightness. Now maybe you've been going through this pendulum effect where you were just overtly effusive and overbearing in the way you presented something here, and now you've swung back the other way and decided to become secretive, brooding, concerned. So you have to find a happy balance there in all of your relationships throughout this month. There are some other important transits taking place. Just keep your eye on Venus and Mars. they are going to make a transition out of those areas, along with the moon there on the 12th and 13th into the 10th house of career, then around the 15th and 16th into your social area. And that, I think, coincides with the movement of Mars here to the 8th house, again triggering this earlier intimacy sector. This has to do with sexuality, money. This is the house of shared resources. And when you think about it, money is often shared. We share that, we spend it, we distribute it. And sex is the same. And intimacy has to do with sharing our deepest secrets, being vulnerable to the other person. At the same time, a nice open aspect here between Mars and the moon. Again, hidden houses. And here, this Neptune. So this is a triangular, somewhat, not all the planets. Later on, Mars will connect with the North Node. But here we see you are able to share your feelings more openly and get through some of those hidden aspects, issues of the past, your past transgressions, the transgressions of others. That's ideal. Now, I just missed a very important aspect here, which is the... I didn't miss it. I'm playing seesaw here. It's this aspect of the moon in opposition full moon on the 19th to the sun, again in the 12th house. So this is an extension of what I just mentioned, opening up that can of worms from the past, dealing with those issues that you haven't wanted to deal with. Again, I think being shown by a lot of this stuff that's submerged under the earth, releasing that. That can happen when the moon makes contact here with Jupiter. Again, this is similar to what happened when the moon was here, because the moon is the ruler of the 8th house. And it's now making contact with your ruling planet. So more of the same, I say. But be careful, because you've got this hard aspect to Neptune, which can confuse your feelings and give you the sense that you're on the right track, but you may not be. Finances, around the 22nd, 23rd, bit of a serious tone here when Moon makes contact with Saturn. Saturn is your finance sector, so this is all about money. And being on the karmic axis shows that you may make some life-changing decisions during these next couple of months. Maybe not immediately, but you'll be thinking of that. Why do I say that? Because of the retrogression of these two planets. You're basically reevaluating a lot of things in your finances now, and that's not a bad idea. Last few days of the month, we see the communicative 3rd house transited by the moon. Then we see this 4th house family idealism at its height here with the conjunction of the moon and Neptune, opportunities to really give some love and attention to the ones you love to nurture on the home front. Children as well, shown by this 5th house transit. And the very last couple of days, a return of the moon back to this 6th house, which I think was an important component of what I was saying, having to do with service, understanding the way in which you serve others, your nearest and dearest. The communication lines are open, but there's a tendency to exaggeration with the Mercury opposite Jupiter. Second point I made, apart from service, is to do with understanding, standing under. That, again, on the very last couple of days of the month is going to be critical due to this Mercury-Jupiter opposition. Mercury rules your marital partner, those people that are closest to you in life. Jupiter rules yourself. So the opposition here does create some tension as far as conveying your ideas. Be very careful. Take time to listen as much as you talk. Join me at astrology.com.au. There's more on the month of May for you, Sagittarius. I hope you'll stop in there. Drop me a note if you wish. And don't forget, come back next time. That's next month, same time, same place. Look forward.